Mr. Chair.
Hang on, just give me a second. Chris Farfoy.
I move that the question be now put.
I'm not quite ready to do it yet.
Well, we are. We have a vote.
Order. Jan Logie.
I wasn't necessarily going to speak of this bill, but after the last speaker, I feel compelled to respond. Because what I heard that speaker say was that older New Zealanders and people with disabilities do not deserve the minimum wage. And I've got to say, that is the absolute reason for this legislation, is that there are people in our society that think like that, and that we actually need to protect people from them. There are people that will take advantage, that hold discriminatory views that belong in the 1950s, who take advantage of people, and we need to protect those people from them. This piece of legislation, I thank the honourable member for bringing it to the House. It is about lifting this base standard in our society to be a little bit fairer. And I have listened to a lot of the debate tonight, and I would like to frame the rest of my contribution just to speak a little bit more specifically about how this affects women. Because actually casualisation of work and insecurity of work, which is a significant part of the contracting environment for many, disproportionately affects women. And the research that was done by the CTU in the 2013 showed that temporary workers are more likely to be female than permanent workers. And women make up 58% of temporary employees. Mr. Speaker.
Order. I'm sort of reluctantly interrupting the member, but as I ruled on an earlier bill this afternoon, we are in the committee stages. All we are debating now is whether the details in the clauses in the bill reflect the agreement of the House to proceed at second reading. So the member is giving a very interesting second reading debate, but it's not relevant. Denise Roche.
Thank you for that guidance, Mr. Chair. And I was linking to this bill in terms of the employment contract environment that contractors sit within and how that impacts on women, and the benefit of this bill for women who are in contracting environments in this country, and recognising that, that through the process to try and get it passed, there have been limitations made that has excluded some workers and some women that women would have benefited from. And this is part of the process of trying to make a difference when we have this government in power, and that's a shame. But it's still worth doing, and women would still benefit from us passing this legislation. And when this government has talked specifically, and I know that contractors, this is particularly relevant, about work is the answer to poverty in this country, particularly when we talk about child poverty, work is the answer. Well, contracting is a significant part of our work environment these days. And if we want our children to be able to achieve at school, to be healthy, to be safe, actually we need to ensure that their parents, who are in sole parent-headed households, it's mostly women, actually get a fair deal. And this legislation is one small step in helping us do that. And it's entirely inconsistent of this government to say that work is the answer and then not to put the protections in place to ensure that people get the benefit of that work, to allow employers who hold the attitudes expressed by that previous member to rip off those workers of what they deserve. And this House should not give that government any more space in expressing those views. And I hope the government will reflect on their values and come to support this bill.
Jonathan Young.